So it's up to me now.
Oh,
I'm very happy that you guys said what y'all said because it makes it just like reaffirms my nerdiness. When I was watching it and Elizabeth Olsen was going down to the basement and I saw all the vines just going around the whole dungeon area, my first thought was like that looks like Man Thing, but I really hope it's not Man Thing because like there's also some like red spots that look like the Man Thing's like eyes and stuff, and
yeah.
I was just like, man, I hope I'm wrong or maybe I'm just looking too into it because Man Thing is such a out there character. Like hasn't even been
Yeah,
mentioned.
but you know what? I don't know if you guys saw the solicitations, but there's a bunch of
Yeah,
Man,
Curse
yeah.
of Man Thing
It's
crossovers with a bunch of
exactly
different books coming out. What in like April or March or
mm,
something?
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I was
Um,
gonna say.
May. And they don't. You know what? That could be hinting at something because they're doing something with the character. Also, it might try to be work of the popularity of them doing the oh, what's DC's version?
Swamp Thing.
Something.
Swamp Thing. They have a Swamp Thing show. I haven't
Yeah,
watched it, but
yeah.
that could be
No,
trying to build off of that because they're very similar characters.
you basically took it right out of my mouth. You know, I was gonna say
Oh,
exactly. There's a Man Thing
my
shit
bad,
coming up.
Manny.
No, you're good. You're good. And like and the same thing with the Swamp Thing show. Like it is pretty successful. The only reason they didn't do season two was I don't know. They're idiots because everyone loved it. Everyone that I know that has seen it loved it.
I heard
So
it's a slow build though.
I haven't seen it so either. So,
Oh,
but but that's cool. And a friend of mine told me all about like the Nexus and how it connects to the Man thing. So I was like, oh no, maybe I was right. And one time I didn't want to be right. Um, I was trying to figure out how Nexus would connect to the Power Stone because like that's the last stone that has to do with the commercials, right? They haven't done a Power Stone yet. It might be next week, but I'm thinking that they're done with the sitcom stuff, like because we're pretty much caught up. We're in the 2000s. They might do a 2010s era, but I think the next two episodes we're done with sitcoms. Um, and I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe we get one more commercial. But Matt, you stole it out of my mouth as well. The whole suspicious mole. As soon as she said that, I paused it and I said, "She's talking about Jimmy Woo's contact. There's some suspicious mole in my back. Like he's on my back." And I was like, "Oh, that's what you're talking about." It's not like it wasn't like a she's the suspicious mole. I took it as there's someone watching her. She knows someone's watching her, and that was just her funny way of saying it. Kind of like the way she said, "I bit a kid once," you know. Um, so I think that's gonna have to do something with that there. Um, One of the positive things I had zero negatives, by the way, just throwing that out there. You guys all suck for going down, but uh, but I have zero negatives. My positives,
I have no well, I have a couple negatives, but I think this show is just as good as any of the other
yes,
episodes.
yes. No, Darcy, she did not need help from Vision whatsoever. She was helping Vision. She punched that guy out. Oh look, Mess Comics is reading our minds because he's over here talking about Darcy. As soon as I mentioned Darcy, he brought up Darcy. He said I wanted to see Darcy, or he or she, sorry, wanted to see Darcy be in her uniform from Two Broke Girls. That would have been awesome. That would have been great.
That would have been good.
Yeah, no, but she punched
Yo,
out
sorry,
that bad
real
guy.
quick.
Go
Guilty
ahead.
pleasure. I actually loved fucking Two Broke Girls, dude. I watched it. Okay, I loved it. I'll say it. I don't care.
I never got a chance to watch it, so I can't
I
say
watched it.
anything.
Really
No.
good show.
Like I said, great show. Anyways, man, sorry. Go ahead,
No,
man.
you're good. So you know, she like so the guy grabbed her. I expected Vision to come just jumping in. No, she knocked that guy out. Like that was great. She knocked him out, and then she's the one that went to the truck, and she's the one that like found the key, and she's driving. She's in charge the whole time, and I love that. Um, and I'm just happy we got end credit scenes again. You know, the whole Snooper's gonna snoop. That was great. I love it. That's where we saw Pietro. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Yep.
that was great. Um, when it comes to like references, I may be looking too much into this. I know this is call me Mr. Fantastic because I'm about to stretch. Here we go. The Major Goodner, the one that like brought all the stuff.
Oh yeah.
She said she did a communications check with Monica before she drove in, but instead of saying like communications check whatever, she said instead of captain, she said Capcom. Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom. I'm like, oh, is that something there? I don't know. I like it. Capcom check. I was like, I'm Marvel versus Capcom. There it is. There's a reference.
Brightest arcade game
I'm stretching.
ever.
We need a new one, by the way. It's time.
For what?
We need-
Oh yeah, exactly. Maybe this is a reference that they're gonna get a new one. But and then you guys have already called it, but superhero landing. As soon as Monica got into the other side, the first thing she did is superhero landing, and then when she fought Wanda, superhero landing. Like those twice, she did it twice. She already knows how to be a superhero. She's perfect. There it is. I loved it, and
I'm excited to see the extent of her power.
I don't want her to have a like you were saying that she's gonna have a major fight with Wanda. I don't think that she should because she hasn't trained with her powers. There's no way that she should be able to go one on one with Wanda if she hasn't
Well,
trained.
she's a trained military, so she knows how to fight.
I,
So
just
I think
'cause-
she's just gonna go
That's what I
balls
did.
to the wall with the power.
yeah, you can fight,
Wouldn't make her
sure.
do that.
Sure, you can fight and all that stuff, but I'm telling you that now, no military has trained with Spectrum's powers. Like no one has done that. So that's why that's just me. I don't want that to happen.
Well, explain how Iron Man could fight.
He's rich and he got a lot of personal trainers. No,
Well,
and
you know what? She's in the military. She grew up with freaking Captain Marvel. She might not. She might know how to do everything.
You know what?
We don't know what between her being a child and when she got back from the blimp. We don't know.
and to your point, I rewatched Captain Marvel recently, and one of my main picks on that was that she's a little girl. She's never seen this Kree technology, and then she just knows how to fix the whole color scheme and everything. And she does it perfectly. She knows exactly what she's doing. So you know what? Maybe you're right. She just kind of picks things up fast. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. My last thing was when Agatha Harkness reveals herself. Her line is, "You didn't think you were the only magical girl in town, right? Magical." As far as we know, Wanda is not a mutant, and she is not, and no one has ever referenced her powers as magical, except for like the Hex, but that's in this show right now. So no one knows about magic. So that tells me one, Agatha for sure is magic. She's a witch for 100% sure. But now she's saying Wanda is a witch as well, and no one this has never been established. And I think this is the MCU's way of establishing that she is magic. And oh yeah, you're right. Doctor Strange is magic. Mass Comics said that Doctor Strange is magic, but he hasn't referenced Wanda as being magic. That's what I'm saying. Wanda has never been a magical being. She's been enhanced. She's not a mutant or anything. She's an enhanced human. So like this is nice. I like that, honestly.
Real quick to just jump on that point. So in the comics, it was actually Agatha Harkness that saw a potential in Wanda to learn how to learn magic because of her ability to
I like that.
affect reality. Her chaos magic. She believed that Wanda could be adept at learning magic, and that's why Wanda became to be known as a witch and one of the most powerful magical beings in the Marvel universe was because of Agatha. So who knows?
That's awesome. That I like that.
There might be something there, and that's why when she says, you're not the only magical town, it's because she sees the potential of Wanda to be able to like learn how to use magic, and it'd be cool if we see that kind of event transpire. Because again, in the comic books, Agatha Harkness has never really been an evil persona,
Right.
but who knows how they're gonna tackle that on.
My
Which leads into a couple other of my theories, man. But go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
but that's the thing. But my last thing was to say that going into Nick's point of that Agatha's gonna be the big bad. I think there is. She may be puppeteering Wanda, but I think there's someone above her puppeteering her, and maybe Agatha is not gonna turn out to be bad. She may turn out to be the trainer for Wanda. Who knows how that's gonna work out? But that leads into part 2 of this, and that is a bunch of possible theories. And so I'm gonna read what Nuno sent me because he wasn't able to come in, but he sent me. He wants to be the first one to say this theory, because he doesn't want Matt to take any credit or anything like that.
There you go.
But basically, it's just one theory, and it's dealing with Hayward. Which let me just once again put out there. I think Hayward is an idiot. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's any kind of villain or anything. He's just an idiot. That's
He's just a fence pusher, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, he says he wanted Hayward wanted Vision's body to be functional, so he's the one that reached out to Agatha, and because he thought that maybe Agatha could do something with it. Then they find out that Wanda could probably do it, and so that he arranged everything to happen the way it happened. And then things got a little spicy. So that's his theory, is that Agatha and Hayward basically are working together. If I got that wrong, Nuno, I'm sorry. Then comes to me, and I still have my theory that Jimmy Woo is the most evil person.
Oh,
and Jimmy Woo
It's
is
impossible.
Jimmy.
Nice.
So I was thinking, what if Agnes / Agatha Harkness is the informant that Jimmy Woo is looking for? Got lost. Jimmy Woo is Mephisto or something like that. Something like that. Jimmy Woo is gonna be a bad guy. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it. I'm saying it. Jimmy Woo.
What minute are we up to on this segment? Just so I can share this with you.
I got you.
Yes,
I'll make it
please
myself. That's my theory. Jimmy Woo is the bad guy. He's the ultimate evil. He's the one. Agnes is his informant. That's what he's there for. Jimmy's a bad guy. You guys are all being fooled. I'm sorry.
No, it's not Jimmy. It can't be Jimmy. Jimmy Woo, man.
But other than that,
protect Jimmy Woo at all costs.
At all costs,
All
protect
costs.
Jimmy Woo.
that's
We
me.
need further Jimmy Woo influence in the MCU.
You have to, man.
That's my part. Matt, what are your theories? What do you think's gonna happen?
After this episode, I don't think Marvel know how to think outside the box, to be honest. So, I'm still gonna stick with that. Wanda's bad because, man, when she came out of this circle, she knew. Hey, she came out. She knew what was going on. Knew what was going on when she came out. She knew what was going on. Yes,
She's
she put all the
sad.
guns on Hayward. She didn't worry about Monica and that, but she knew what was going on. All right, I'm gonna go. You think Jimmy Woo's a bad guy? I'm gonna say that if she's on the borderline, Wanda, of being bad, I think Agnes is going to push her to that side, and she's going to join Agnes. All right, because they're going to be both, the Scarlet Witch. She's a witch. I reckon they're both be witches, and I reckon she needs help. Maybe
Jotting down the time right now. Just all right. Cool.
she needs help. She needs Wanda's help to resurrect Mephisto.
Okay.
Nah, like if anything, we get Mephisto and Spider-Man. He's going to make the deal to everyone forget. But nah, man. Honestly, after today's episode, after last night's episode, or well, 2 nights, I don't know when it was for you guys, but I just don't have any. I was just very let down that I just can't. I don't want to look outside the box because I know Marvel's not going to do it. But I'm still going to stick by that Wanda's bad because she knew what she's doing when she's coming out. I think Hayward wants Vision's body to create a better Ultron that will end up turning bad. I reckon we're still going to get Ultron. He may not be a big bad, but he might be a bad in one of the other series. But yeah, after this episode, man, like it's like Marvel saying, listen, we know you guys have to think outside the box, and we threw it out there for you guys to think outside the box, but we don't. Everything's in plain sight for you, right there, bang. From the start, I did say in my video that in the first 2 episodes, you'll meet the villain, because you always, in every show and every movie, in the first 15 minutes, you will meet the villain, guaranteed. And we obviously did with Agnes, but yeah, no more outside the box series with me. But I'll go Carlos this time. What are your theories, mate? I know, man. I might be jumping out in about 5 minutes to drop the girlfriend off at the train station. I will leave my thing on, so if anyone does break into my apartment, you guys can see it.
So, I think that Agatha Harkness is not really the villain that it seems like he is. I do think that she has obviously put a lot of these things into motion. Um, but as far as why she's doing it, I personally think that she's under the control of sorry Nick of Mephisto.
I'm mad at you for that.
I still think that it's Mephisto, and this is why. The book that we saw there, in her cave or whatever, I don't know if that's the Darkhold. The Darkhold already popped up in the Agents of Shield, show, but Kevin Feige has pretty much disregarded, all of that shit that's happened. And the book obviously looked different in the Agents of Shield show, but the Darkhold can take many different forms. It's definitely some type of, grimoire book or whatever. And I think that Agatha is under the influence. If it's not Mephisto, it's some type of demonic otherworld, being. Whether it's maybe Dormammu, maybe Nightmare, who knows? But I think that Agatha is also under some kind of control because this demonic being sense that Wanda has alternate reality, powers, and she has potentially access to the powers of one of the Infinity Stones, and she needs her power to break this book open and cast some sort of spell to bring that being into this universe. So I think that that's what's going on. But that book is gonna play some kind of super significant role in this. And why I also think that it could be Mephisto still is because in the comic books again, her children were made with parts of Mephisto's soul of his being, like shards from him. So that has to be addressed. I still think that it's Mephisto.
Sorry, just Carlos, where do you fucking think the kids were?
That's what I'm saying. I think that Mephisto finally reabsorbed them because that's what ends up happening into the comics. That's how Wanda loses her kids. When she realizes that, she's gonna lose her shit, and that's where we're gonna get some kind of crazy like multi-dimensional break in reality, and she's being manipulated to be able to bring Mephisto into this universe. That's like my number one theory. Now, as far as what brought Wanda to this town and the whole thing with Hayward and the Cataract program, I definitely am with you guys that I think that he was trying to use Vision to bring back Ultron or create some kind of army. Wanda ended up finding out because, again, we found out that Vision had, in his will, he had a directive that he did not want to be researched, brought back to life, all of that stuff. Hayward obviously wasn't, honoring that. Wanda found out. That's why she broke in there to get Vision's, body back, and in that grief, all of that was happening, her actually seeing his body, him not being able to be left to rest. She lost her shit, ended up in Westview, and created this reality that we have now.
And that makes sense. And that makes sense because like she hasn't done anything within like the 2-3 weeks in between. She's been dealing with her grief, right? So
like, yeah, exactly. So that's what I think led up to those events. Now the burning question is still Pietro. Dude, it cannot be a coincidence that it happens to be Evan Peters. Like Pietro, there's something there. There has to be something there. And where I think that this is again playing into the crack in reality and Mephisto and Agatha Harkness, all that stuff. Mephisto is a multi-dimensional being. And I think that to drive her more insane so that she can be prone to be manipulated by Agatha, he pulled Evan Peters, Quicksilver from that dimension. Or it's still coming back to Professor X sending Evan Peters, Quicksilver to try and reach, Wanda. Something is going on there. I think that there's all these plot points and they're all gonna fit together somehow. I still think that the aerospace engineer, I still think that there's something there. The the person that
Yeah.
she met up with, or what was her name? Manny,
Major
Captain
Goodner.
or Major what was it?
Goodner.
Yeah, Major Goodman. There, she's just third party or not a third party, a intermediary, between her and the aerospace engineer. I still think that there's something there, and it's gonna be Mr. Fantastic at the
I
end of
hope
every.
so.
But yeah, those are the theories that I got.
Before we take it to Nick, Mess Comics did just say that their theory is that Doctor Strange is going to show up. He's going to take Wanda away, put her in the pocket dimension, but needs her help for the movie, and then she takes Vision or destroys the body, and then the kids dissolve away.
That's
I
pretty good.
think that actually brings up a whole thing. Maybe Doctor Strange is going to be the big cameo because
But did they work? Did they have any scenes together?
I don't
Because
think
they
so.
both said did they have any scenes together in any of the movies?
I don't think so. That's what I was
Probably
thinking.
in Endgame.
No,
But did they have a scene together? And I mean,
Endgame.
were they in the same scene together?
Vision.
Yes, they were in the same movie, but did they act in the same scene?
Vision was not
That's
in
the
Endgame, was
question.
he?
Not that I can remember.
But
I
yeah,
don't think
That's
Paul
the
Bettany
only-
was in there. But that might be the actor he's talking about. He's like, I've always wanted to work with Benedict Cumberbatch. Whatever
but
his
Doctor
name is.
Strange is at the end of next year. Is it the end of next year or is it mid?
It's April of next year, I think. Yeah, like April.
I was
May.
going to say, is this going to have a season 2 or is it? What's the deal?
I
That's what
doubt
was-
it. I doubt this is gonna have a season 2. I think this is a good
Usually
little
hasn't been
phase.
announced or anything like that. I doubt it. But who knows?